Hi again. I'm back at the workshop, waiting for some other prints for another build, and I thought I would just keep going on the Switchwire. Now, it's been a couple of it's actually been a week since last I touched this, so I need to look at my own YouTube video to to make sure I know where I'm at. But I do know that I need to fix this problem. The fact that I don't have the stock power supply cover, and because I have a bigger fan. So I found this on printables or Thingiverse. I'll leave a link in the description. And I guess I'm just gonna attach the fan to this because it doesn't need to look pretty. There's a lot of holes here, so why not just use one of them? And I'll get that in, and then I'll have a look at the Pi situation and what I have in my drawers. So just to show you what I was talking about, my power supply doesn't have a cover because long time ago I replaced it with a printed cover for the Ender, and I threw the other one away, or I can't find it anyways. So I printed this, which looks like it's gonna fit just fine, and I'll just put the fan on here, and yeah. So just give me a second and I'll fix that. Okay, change of plans. The one, what is this, 90 millimeter fan, that wouldn't fit because it would go further out than the bottom, and there's going to be panels, so no bueno. I did find a smaller fan that fits. It's the same size as the original fan, but it's 12 volts instead of 9 volts. So it should run just slightly quieter, I hope. And Pi wise, I know that I have a Big Tree Tech Pi back at my apartment. So I'm gonna use that. So I'll do that tomorrow. And then I thought I could start putting on the panels, but then thinking about that while doing all this, I just realized that if I do the panels now and there's any change, I'm pretty much screwed because they're partly glued on with double-sided tape. So I think I'm just gonna get this printing, and then I'll look at the panels. So I want to do a couple of prints out of PLA first, and then do the panels. Because my initial thought was that I want to build it completely and then deal with Klipper and all that stuff, and that's just not the best way to do it. I'm gonna make sure that everything works and that I can print with it first, and then I'll do the panels. And also, looking through the parts that in the box, there's an LED strip that came with it. Now it just comes with connectors, and it's a 24 volts LED strip, so it's just meant to light up the inside as long as the printer is on. But I did remember that I have some Voron 2.4 or just some Voron RGB strips, so I might as well use them because I have these diffusers printed and they're not the right size. I think they're meant for this strip. Yeah, so I need to reprint some of these to fit these guys, so that's not a big issue. And then there is a cable to power the Pi and do UART. I'm just not going to use that. I'm going to power the Pi with 24 volts and then do the USB, because there's plenty of room. No need to overcomplicate things. There was a single wire that I wasn't sure what it is, and I'm still not, but it's from a plug that's not being used on the tool head. It just says FS. If you know what this is, please let me know in the comments, because I'm not using the plug on the tool board, so it doesn't really matter what I do here, right? Other than that, I think that's it for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow to do more work and start making it move, because I'm at that stage where everything is ready to start moving. I want to go through and check the tool board, because someone told me that the tool board had some shorts, so I need to look into that as well. I'll probably just grab my multimeter and start looking for shorts. Yeah, I'm excited to get back on this. It's been really busy with a couple of videos and some other stuff in the background. So yeah, I hope to get back tomorrow. So see ya. Okay, so new day. I got a Pi 1.2, Big Tree Tech Pi 1.2. And I went and bought a SD card. That'll be just dedicated for this. I might swap this out for a Big Tree Tech Pi 2 at some point. As I want to use this to test the AI feature stuff. So, but that's later. I want to at least get this working. So I'm gonna flash or install Klipper and the image on this, and then I probably need to flash the Voron extender. The SKR Mini is already flashed because it was in the Ender 3 before. Let's see if we can get something done in the next couple of hours. So I'll update you when I start getting stuff done, I guess. Okay, so that's perfect timing. I'm printing some little cable clips to just help me quickly organize the wiring, because it's kind of messy. It's hard to know where everything's going. So I just finished printing that on the excellent Rook 2020 Mark II. It's probably going to be its last print before it gets a full gantry rebuild. So that's kind of cool. I was a little bit surprised because the little Klipper expander board right there, it's pre-flashed. So I just added it to Klipper, and I have the SKR Mini, the thing, the Pi, and the expander. So yeah, everything looks good so far. Right now, I've just loaded the default Big Tree Tech Ender 3 config, so I need to completely rehaul that and go over and just make it work. But this is enough for me to start looking at where I might have some wiring issues, if my motors are not working, and stuff like that. So so far so good. I'll try to get something moving, and I'll show you whenever that happens. So first scary thing, I think my SKR Mini is broken, but I kind of fixed it. So let me pull you down from there. So my thermistor, my Extruder thermistor, is reading 375C. The issue with that being, there is, it's hard for you to see, but there's nothing plugged in, and even if I took another thermistor and plugged it in, it doesn't change that value. Oops. So I think that plug is broken. Luckily, I know how that got broken, but I have the expander, and it has 2 thermistor ports, and I doubt that I'm going to use both of them. I know that I'm going to use one of them for chamber temp, but I can use the other one for my hot end temp. So that's just a simple, let's see if I can do this. So I just go into machine and printer. Let's find the extruder, and I just changed the pin from PC5 to expander. The PA6, that's the pin on the expander. And let's see, yeah, 22 Celsius, and this is just a temp, just a random thermistor, so that I can check. So if I just squeeze this, yep, temperature immediately goes up. So fixed it. So yeah, next I'll try to get stuff to work with fans, all of that stuff. So be right back, I guess. So I've been working on my config, trying to get all components to be recognized in Klipper, and I did say that there was something wrong with my thermistor on my thermistor pin on the hot end. It's not. There was just the wrong pin in the config, so I fixed that. But this board has gone through a broken hot end. Just something that broke while assembling it. So it seems that the MOSFET for the hot end is bad. But easy workaround. I've put the hot end into the Klipper expander board. So that now works. And then I'm not sure how, but there seems to be a short in my bed wires, because the board is giving out 24 volts, but the actual bed isn't receiving 24 volts. So I have to disassemble the incomplete wiring for the bed and make sure that there's not a bad connection. So yeah, I've been setting up all the fans to work when they should, which they all do now. Because I looked around for a existing Klipper config for the Switchwire, and there's not. There just isn't one that's kind of a stock, which is it's strange, because this is a kit printer, right? So there should be a stock config, but there's not. At least not an official one. But this is kind of the fun part for Klipper. You can experiment and make things work for you. I'll probably at the end of this make mine public on my GitHub. I'll set it up like a normal one, so that the hot end heater is actually the one on the board and not the one on the Klipper expander. But all the fan stuff and all that works. Yeah, so I'm gonna start looking for a short on the bed cable. So that's next. Good news, everyone! Got the heater, the bed heater working. Currently just doing the PID just to make sure that it actually heats up, and it seems to be working. Whoa. So yeah, the printer is somewhat working. I've tightened the belts while waiting for the bed. Next I'll do the make sure everything works on the tool head, so looking at the probe and all of that stuff. And after I make sure that the probe works, then I can start with the movement stuff. So yeah, this is turning into a good day. Actually, night. I've been here literally all night. It's 9 to 9:30 a.m. So. Alright, so I've double checked all of my end stops. X and Y worked. I had to change one pin name to match the actual pin that I'm using on this. And yeah, so the way that I test these is that I did this on the computer, but you can do it on the phone. You go into Mainsail, and you go into your machine tab. And then there's an end stops category, so update your end stops. And then to check them, I'll just click the X end stop, and now it says triggered. Release it, update again, and it says open. Same with Y. And then on this printer, at least, it's a inductive sensor, so I'm just using something metal, holding it against the sensor and triggered. So yeah, next I'll set up my homing macro. I'm just guessing at this point, but I'll set up my homing macro and then I'll do the first homing with the camera on. So give me a moment. Okay, I've triple checked the end stops work, the probe works, and everything's moving in the right direction. So I think it's time for its full homing sequence. I've placed this. This is a bad PI sheet, just because if something fails now, I don't want to dent the new one. So this is just the sacrificial. And I have my finger on the button in case something happens. So let's see. Home all. Well, it homed. So yeah, I'll do some more tests and then start working on the hot end and all of that stuff. So, okay, I've played around a little bit the homing speeds and distances and all that stuff, and I think I'm at a point where I'm comfortable. Let me just put it at some realistic spot, and I'll do a home. So what I've done is I've slightly increased the homing speed on X and Y, just because they're end stops, so I can just go faster. And then for Z, I slowed it down because the inductive probe has a slight delay to it, it seems. So on the first home, if we went too quickly, it'll hit the nozzle, will hit the plate, and then on the second one it would work. So I slowed it down on the first one as well, and then even slower on the second one. So yeah, I might play around with this later as well, but this is a good starting point. I'm realizing that I'm not gonna keep that induction probe. I just don't trust it. I want something mechanical, so either cookie or a micro probe. So I'll look into that after a while. But I want to get this printing with all the stock parts first from the kit, and then I'll look into modding later. So on to the hot end, I guess. So I have used to to set my position. What I do is I use the force move part of Klipper, and what you need to do is you need to add this force move and then uncomment that and set it to true, and put that in your printer config, and then you'll use the set kinematic position command. So that would look, what I normally do is I set my tool head in the center of the printer, and then I'll use that. So if I now, let me turn off I'll turn off all the motors, so everything is loose. So what I'll do is I'll set the tool head to about middle. It doesn't really matter, and then I'll set my values to be something so that I can move both in plus and minus. And then I'll send that command, and suddenly that turns blue, which means it's homed. So that means I can now move my axes. So I can do that without having to actually home the printer. So that's how I set it up. So I'll do that. I have that just by pressing the up arrow. I'll use that and then test plus or minus until I get all my directions set, and then I'll do a full home. So next is the heater, which I've already done, to be honest. Heater works. I've done the PID tuning for that. So I've tuned PID for the bed, for the hot end. Homing all works. Next is Extruder. So I'll look to see if there's a pre-made config for the Clockwork 2, and then yeah, I'll test. I use the force move again to test the direction, and then plastic, I guess. All right. So I've tuned the extruder, and I'll be honest, it's been a full day since the last clip, because I did some accuracy testing on the probe that comes in this kit, and I'm sort of scared to use it because it had a deviation of 0.54, which it's way too high. I don't want to start a print and then damage the bed, and 0.54 is not good enough to be a good stable printer. So I was supposed to try and use it, but I just can't. Yeah, I'm not willing to risk it. So luckily I do have micro probes, and I was able to make a tiny little mount, and it's literally, it's tiny, and it goes on the micro probe like that, and this will let me mount the micro probe where the stock induction probe is, so I don't have to reprint anything on the printer. This is just my test print to make sure that it works. So if this works, I'll reprint it in ABS because this is PLA temporarily. But yeah, it's a shame. I would have liked to try the printer as is, but I'm not willing to risk damaging anything by using a one part when I have options. Also, I had some issues flashing the STM32 Mini 12864 adapter. So this is for the screen. I had issues on my workshop computer loading the driver. So that was, for some reason, that was difficult. And so what I just brought it home and did it on my dedicated Linux laptop, and that worked first try. So this works now, and I'll be able to install it and configure it so that I can use the screen. So yeah, I'm gonna install the micro probe and getting that working. So that'll be my goal for the day. I have some Formula 1 on in the background, and yeah, taking my time and enjoying the process, I guess. Also, I've been working on the Rook 2020 Mark II sneak peek for those that wants to see it. I'll make a video on that in a couple of weeks, I guess. So, onwards and upwards, I guess. Alright, so it looks like this is gonna fit. To fit this, you have to split the two parts of the mount, but that's no problem. You loosen these three screws, and then you take off the two that's holding it to the carriage, and then that gives you room for that to slide in, because it's just slightly wider. And yeah, so I'll get this wired. I'll have to use the second plug, so I'll have to look at the pins going down to the board and see what I can use. But yeah, looking good so far. So I decided to just run the microprobe all the way to the board. I had to extend the wires a little bit, but it's just simpler. I could have probably figured it out, but I don't want to think about it right now. Yeah. The printer's back together, so next would be to start looking at the probe. I have adjustments. That mount that I designed have a little bit of adjustment, so I can lower it or raise it. I just hope there's enough adjustment. If not, I have to reprint that part. So yeah, I'll be right back with hopefully a fully functioning printer again. Well, it looks like my plan of using the stock printed part won't be working, because I need to lower it so that this hole wouldn't fit the little ears on the micro probe. So temporarily I've just modified it and made some glitter, and I'm at the point where I can home. So I can home XYZ. But yeah, I guess I'm going to need to make a new one of those to fit the micro probe properly. At least now I know where to put the probe to get it to work. So but this is enough for me to start printing at least. So I guess that's next. So let me slice something up and see if I can make a print. I guess you could say this is a noteworthy moment. It's printing plastic. I've just done some adjusting of the bed. It's not super straight, but it's not impossible either. It's about a 0.05 flex, which is what I'm used to on an ender bed. And yeah, I'm about to stop this print, and then I'll print a cube, check dimensions. I'm not expecting anything super wrong because I've done some measurements of movement, but yeah, it's looking good so far. So I'll print a cube, and then I'll think that's it for this video. So I'll be right back with that. Right, we are doing the first print, a Voron cube. And I was noticing that I had some quite noticeable lines on the front but not on the sides, and realized that I never actually tensioned my Y belt. So I did that and it looks better already. So let's see if I can get you any closer. Now that should look a little better. And yeah, quality is looking great. Being the first print, so there's no actual tuning here at all. There's a layer shift, but that's from when I tensioned the belt. Motors don't like that, so I guess I'll do some tuning, and yeah, I'll come back when this is done. Well, there it is. That is not a bad print. Ignoring, of course, the layer shift because I tightened the Y belt. No tuning. I would say that is really, really good. Okay, so let me move the camera a little bit and we'll talk. Well, it's printing. It's not done. I want to get some more PLA prints done, some tuning, and just make sure that there's nothing that I need to fix. I do need to fix the microprobe situation because well, it works, but right now it's a temporary mount. So I'll redesign this back piece that holds the stealth burner on to add a microprobe. And then, yeah, tuning. I want to get this fully tuned, and then I'll put on all the panels, which are down here. Yeah, I'm excited for this build. And yeah, the first print looks great. Doesn't need that much tuning, some pressure advance, and I'll do some input shaping. I haven't got the LCD working yet. That's on my list, but for this week at least, because I'm running out of time, this is where I'm gonna end it. It'll probably be a couple of weeks before I get a new video on this, mainly because it's going to take a while to do all the tuning and making sure that everything works. So yeah, I hope you've liked tagging along. This is a fun little build. It's not super challenging either. It's more involved than a Rook, but it's not like extremely different. No. So if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, do that, and hit the subscribe button. I'm getting really close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers this summer, so thank you for the support for so far. So